Hello, family. Welcome to the first episode of the Sageology Podcast. I'm excited to have you here. Today's episode is our first ever Sage Report where we will be breaking down the horoscope of the first week of July, starting Monday the 3rd all the way through Sunday, July 9th. So, kicking it off on Monday, we are having a Capricorn full moon. Now, I'm excited for this full moon because I do think that this full moon is the perfect opportunity to teach people how to work with this retrograde Saturn in Pisces. Now, Saturn is currently in Pisces and she's also retrograde. And I do believe that the collective is somewhat struggling with this energy. I was talking the other day on my Instagram about how Saturn being in the sign of Pisces is financially challenging to lots of people, right? Pisces is a sign that's ruled by Jupiter, the planet associated with abundance, and Venus, the planet that controls money, is also exalted in the sign of Pisces. So Saturn is notorious for causing restrictions and limiting things. One of Saturn's significations is also being associated with poverty or just obstacles or sometimes taking something a long time to manifest. So Saturn being in Pisces is naturally going to challenge people's finances, but that doesn't mean that you can't come out of Saturn in Pisces being financially abundant. Sometimes things that aren't the easiest, that you don't get right away, that don't come to you right away, that aren't the easiest the first go round, end up being long-term success. And our society is changing a lot. There's been a lot of debacle about the US dollar and different things that are going on in the media about that. You can feel how you feel, but one of the things that I really appreciate and love about the sign of Pisces is the collective energy behind it and also the sense of community. So even though right now you may be struggling financially, what are ways that your community could support you? Maybe you don't have enough money to go out to a restaurant and eat, but can you pop by maybe your mom's house or your aunt's house and host a dinner? Can you and your friends pull your money together and meal prep and do a dinner party? That way it's less financially straining for you guys to individually have groceries. Can you have a cousin or a teenage niece watch your kids for the summer instead of going to a daycare? So these are different situations like this where the Saturn and Pisces energy really using the collective and your local community to find wealth and abundance in unique ways. Sometimes I really do feel like it's about, connecting with people and just that human experience. And then wealth and abundance isn't always material. And in a society where money doesn't exist or the dollar is collapsed, your community is going to be the ones that saves your ass, right? Okay, so I'm sorry for that tangent, but let's get back in this full moon. So Capricorn full moon, this is definitely showing you where, you need to prioritize your finances, maybe where you need to get your structure and your stability together. But Saturn, the planet that's controlling this full moon right now, is like drunk. So although Saturn can be harsh, with it being in Pisces and retrograde, it's pretty relaxed right now. So it's really up for you to take initiative and do the healing, right? And use this opportunity while Saturn is retrograde. And when Saturn goes direct, it will bless you double. So Saturn retrograde in Pisces could feel like no direction whatsoever, kind of like you're just wandering in the abyss. But you have to decide what you want to do, and you have to take that initiative. So if you don't know, you really do have to do some healing, some deep soul searching to find out what that is for yourself. This full moon is also encouraging you to find out how to achieve long-term structure, fulfillment, and security in unique ways. It may be hard, but it will also be worth it. So again, maybe long-term structure and fulfillment for you is having soul family, is having community. Maybe it is financial support, but maybe you feel like you're done chasing the corporate ladder, or you're done looking at achieving your finances logically in a mercurial way. Mercury, the planet that rules logic and reasoning, has its detriment in fall in the sign of Pisces. So with Saturn there, thinking things logically may present itself as a challenge right now. I think right now people really do need to figure out for long-term success and stability, how to follow their heart, right? So maybe you're going to stay at the job right now, but it's not fulfilling. So what other ways can you think about and create a business, or not even a business, or even just look for different jobs, look for different skill sets that gives you a sense of fulfillment or gives you a sense of importance, enjoyment. I think that these are important things to consider at this time, and just think about how you could accomplish these things through this 3-year transit. I'm not saying that everything is gonna be done right now in the moment, but these are just some things to think about, right? So it may be hard, but I definitely do feel that it's worth it. The sun is on Mercury, and Mercury in Cancer is really intuitive. So pay very close attention to the downloads that you are receiving at this time, especially during this full moon, okay? The sun is at 11 degrees of Cancer, and Mercury is at 14 degrees. So Cancer is a very intuitive sign, and the strength of Mercury is being heightened so close to the sun. So although Mercury is, logic and reasoning, with it being in the sign of Cancer, your emotions are going to be heightened, but also your intuition. You definitely need to learn how to differentiate the two and really journal, record those downloads, right? And then if there's anything that you feel a disconnect, I encourage you to do the healing while Saturn is retrograde, because once it goes direct, it will be very beneficial to you. Now, the moon is also trine Jupiter during this full moon, and this is a really auspicious aspect, if you want to just look at it through the lens of this lunation chart. But this aspect, Jupiter trine the moon, can bring forth lots of blessings and wealth if you have been doing the work. So with Jupiter and Taurus, definitely wanted to give out blessings, right? So this could look like financial abundance, and also this could look like financial abundance or just regular abundance in different ways. So pay close attention to that. And then again, that could just be showing you maybe where you could change your perspective, or where you could, grow and elevate and find that community support or abundance that you've been looking for in different ways. And also, if, let's just say, no blessings come through for you, right? Let's lean back on that Mercury and Cancer. What do you feel you deserve? What do you feel inspired to have? Like, what do you wish you had? You get what I'm saying? So those are just some things to consider, and maybe opportunities to pivot and think about some things, readjust your life. And also, if you do see that your finances are thriving during this time, I will highly encourage that you save your money, because Venus will be going retrograde in the sign of Leo later in the month. So whenever Venus is retrograde, I do find that finances get kind of iffy, because again, Venus does control money. So if you do see those blessings coming in, if you are seeing opportunities of community support being highlighted in your life, definitely take advantage of them and just prep for that retrograde, y'all. And also, during this lunation, Venus will be at 22 degrees of Leo and Mars will be at 25 degrees of Leo. So Venus and Mars are really close together, and it could definitely feel like a chase, But again, back to that decisiveness that I was talking about earlier. Sometimes you just have to decide what you want and go after it, kind of like Nike, just do it. You get what I'm saying? So Venus is your wants, is your desires, is pleasure, and Mars is that work, that drive, that initiative, what you're willing to do to go for it. And it's like they get so close together, but they actually don't touch. So that's that little chase, that's that little pull, that push to get you to go after what you want. And sometimes, family, you just have to decide, do what you want to do, and go after it. But yeah, that was pretty much this Capricorn full moon, which I'm calling a push towards stability, but in unique ways. Okay, so after this full moon, of course, the moon will continue to go through the sign of Capricorn. It's going to conjunct the planet Pluto, which is currently retrograde at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And then on Tuesday, the moon will move into Aquarius. So after everything that I kind of talked about, dealing with like your life, your finances, community support, how you're maybe being called to pivot, right? I think that Tuesday, Wednesday, while the moon is in Aquarius, you should definitely think about these things, considering the aftermath of this Capricorn full moon, however that may play out in your personal life. Now, Pluto is retrograde right now, right? And Capricorn, but Pluto is doing this little dance on the at 0 degrees of Aquarius and 29 degrees of Capricorn. And once Pluto firmly gets into the sign of Aquarius, we will definitely be in a new era. So I do feel like it's important for people to consider how they want their lives to look as we enter the age of Aquarius. How do they want their situation to be set up when Pluto does move into Aquarius? Because that's going to come with a lot of change. So I do think after this, full moon and these days where the moon is going to be in the sign of Aquarius, right after this lunation, I do feel like it's kind of important to think about those things, and then just see how you feel while the moon is in Aquarius, what different things come up in your life, right? But it's really not that important or big of a transit. That's just kind of something that I wanted to mention, especially after dealing with this Capricorn full moon. So on Wednesday, we will have Mercury in Cancer square Chiron in Aries. Now, whenever Mercury in Cancer is already emotional, Mercury in Cancer is already in their head, Mercury in Cancer is already, I sometimes find in comparison mode, especially with this square to Chiron, that's really going to be highlighting your insecurities. So maybe things didn't play out for you the way that you want it, or maybe you're feeling insecure about your finances, or maybe you're feeling insecure about just where you are in life. And don't let that get to you. Don't get stuck in your head. Don't think about the negative. Try not to be pessimistic. If anything, think about the solutions and where you can change, what you can do differently in your life to kind of lead you closer to where you want to be. So on Thursday, the moon will enter Pisces, and that Mercury is also going to sextile Uranus and Taurus. And so again, this kind of brings me back to resources. This is definitely considering structure and stability and how it could be supported. So if you are a fixed sign or have anything on the fixed axis, just know that in the upcoming months, things are definitely going to get heightened with you. We have a lot of fixed energy, right? With Venus and Mars both in the sign of Leo, and then Venus going retrograde in Leo eventually. And also we do have a big transit of Jupiter in Taurus right now. Jupiter will be in Taurus for the next year, and Venus in Leo is just going to be squaring that, which is definitely going to be highlighting that part of your chart. And again, I do feel like the astrology right now, I personally feel like a lot of different things that we are experiencing is kind of preparation and just the opportunity to really look at your life and adjust and kind of prepare for Pluto going firmly into Aquarius. So what we experienced Thursday is definitely a minor transit, but just wonder where your mind goes. Like, how do you feel about your security, right? How do you feel about your finances? Like, are you confident about that? Is that something that you wish was more stable? Is that something that you want to change? But it's more about your purpose, right? What you want to do with your life, just long-term stability. And sometimes we have to make those sacrifices. So yeah, maybe right now you may not be at your dream job or doing the thing that you want or be where you see yourself, but what sacrifices can you make in the moment, long term, that can get you where you need to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years? Start formulating those plans, guys. And the rest of the week is honestly pretty quiet. Friday, we don't really have too much going on, but some minor lunar transits with the moon in Pisces, again, kind of reflecting on that Saturn energy. So I do feel like this is a week where people are just going to be in their head about their financial standing, kicking off with this Capricorn full moon. I do think that this is something that people are going to be contemplating all week, but not just finances, just structure, stability in general. So with Friday, the moon being in Pisces, being in the same sign as Saturn, you definitely will see more aftermath of the full moon. And with the moon in the sign of Saturn, take the chance to see how that Saturn and Pisces energy is playing out for you while the moon is in that sign after it's being highlighted after this donation. So just take the time and kind of consider those things that I said earlier in the episode and just really think about that, right? So Saturday, the moon will enter Aries. And so I do feel like will be more solution oriented, more solution focused. Definitely about those things that I was talking about Wednesday. So with the moon being in the same sign of Chiron, anything that you may feel like insecure about is an opportunity for growth and an opportunity for change. And then the moon in Aries is definitely going to give you that drive, that initiative to do what you need to do. So definitely explore that, family. See where you can go deeper. See where you need to pivot. See what you need to heal. What do you feel inspired to do? What do you have the initiative to do at this time? And on Sunday, we have a simple transit of Mercury trining Neptune in Pisces, which Neptune is retrograde. So again, if you are struggling with your intuition and just differentiating between intuition versus emotion, like what am I emotional about and what do I want to do to please my racing mind versus what is my higher self calling me to do? What do I feel called to do? What do I feel guided to do? That's something to contemplate on Sunday. So definitely journal about it. One of the ways that I like to differentiate between my emotions and my intuition in times where my mind may be racing is to journal what I feel emotionally and also journal what I feel called to do intuitively. And give it some time. Revisit that journal entry and maybe like a couple weeks, a month later, and see what came to pass. And that will definitely help you learn how to differentiate your intuition from your emotions. But all right, family, so this has been my Sage report for the first week of July. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I hope that I was able to give you some constructive advice. And I really hope that you enjoy this full moon. Don't sweat it, guys. Don't get into your head about anything. If you just listen to this and it goes in one ear and out the other ear, fine, that's great. At the end of the day, just live life, be blessed, make the best of it, make the best of your experience. And I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a blessed week. Be sure to share with your friends if you enjoyed this and to catch me next episode. Also, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, please check out my website. All right, I love you guys. Have a blessed week. Thank you for tuning in.